Okay, this is 7th grade lesson 4.3. Today we're going to also continue working on using a percent equation to find discounts and markups of items. The standards covered in this lesson are 7RP3 and 7EE2 and 3. The page numbers out of the hardcover book are pages 172 through 177, and out of the practice journal, pages 97 through 100. Okay, yesterday we worked with just an introductory activity where they would give us some visual models of some increases or markups and some decreases or discounts. Today, they're not going to give us those visual models, so we're going to practice concepts that we previously learned to continue to go through and find discounts and markups. So a discount, just for that verbal vocabulary, is a decrease in an original amount of an item. So a discount, where would we ever use a discount? That might be maybe at a store when they say you get 25% off the item. Okay, or maybe at a restaurant. Sometimes maybe they mess up on something on your bill or on your food, and they'll say, we're going to take 10% off of your price to compensate you. So a discount is where they're taking something off or taking a part of that off. A markup is what you use to make a profit. So for example, stores, when they buy something, they mark up how much they're going to pay that for so that they're making a profit. They'll pay a certain amount for the product, and then they mark it up so much so that they can make a profit. A markup is going to be an increase from what the store pays to the selling price, okay? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and work with some of these, some real world scenarios. It says the original price of the shorts is $35. What is the sale price? So we're gonna have to use our picture here. So there are a couple different methods, and you have to decide what method you are comfortable with. So you could go through the process of drawing a diagram like the book did for us yesterday. I would recommend, if you do that, to split your diagram into things that are easy. So maybe here, if you knew 25% was a fourth, you could split into 4, or you could split it all the way down into tens also. Okay, so it says find the percent of the original price, then subtract that price from the original cost. So you could go through and actually find 25% of $35, and you could subtract that off. The other method that you could use is you could go through and do like we did yesterday. And that was, well, when it's a percentage off, okay, that would be a discount or a decrease. Okay, so we could go through and take 25% off of our original price, which would be 75%. So we could figure out 75%, 0.75, of times $35. Okay, because we're just trying to figure out how much we're going to have to pay. We know they're $35 on the tag. We know they're 25% off. Okay, so 0.75. And I know some of you will work it differently, and you'll say, well, I know 25% is a fourth of it, and so you'll go through and do it another method. But I'm going to go ahead and do 0.75 times 35. And when I do that, I get $62. Oh my goodness. I mean, not 62. 26, a little dyslexia there, $26.25. So that's how much we're going to pay. Okay. Another method that you could use, and this is once again, that's kind of what I did. I guess the original one was asking us to subtract off. So like we might find 25% of 35, so 0.25 times 35. And that gave us $8.75, and then we would subtract that off. Okay, and when we do that, it's still going to give us the $26.25. I guess I was thinking the other method that I was meant to discuss with you was also to set it up as proportions. But once again, you have to understand that when you go to set it up as a proportion, you want to use what the new percentage is. So my other method is I could have said, okay, I'm going to pay 75%. So 75% over inferred 100. Okay, so this is the sale price, and this is the original. Okay, and my information here, $35 was the original. And then I'll cross multiply, divide. And when I do that, I still get $26.25. You have to decide for you what you're most comfortable with. The key thing is understanding that when you're doing an increase or a decrease, you're adding or subtracting at some point. I like to add and subtract from the percentage just because usually it's easier math than working off of, like I did here in this situation, having to work off of subtracting a different number, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and try another one. All right, the original price of an MP3 player was $79. What is the sale price of this MP3 player? So we got 15% off, so that would be a decrease, okay, a discount. So my new percentage then would be if I took 100 minus my 15%, that's going to give me, what, 85%. So I'm going to pay 85%. Okay, so one method, I could do 0.85 of times $79. The other method, I could go ahead and set it up as proportion, 85% over my original. Remember, this is going to be your sale or selling price. This is the original. 100% is the original. And my original price of the MP3 player was $79. So now if I go through and I use either of these, I should get the same answer. So 79, and I'm just going to punch it in as 85. I'm going to do this one first. I'm not going to punch it in as 0.85. I can if I want to, but then I have to remember that 100%, I also have to punch in as its decimal form of 1. So I'm just going to leave it as times 85 and then divide it by 100. Because I'm working with percentages in two different situations, they'll cancel each other out. So 67.15. Okay, I should get the same thing if I go through and do this method of 0.85 times 79. It's still going to give me the same thing because this is the decimal form of 0.85. So 67.15. So we're going to pay $67.15. Okay, so I want you guys to try this one. Okay, so it says the original price of a skateboard is $50. The sales price includes a 20% discount, decrease. Okay, so that's our decrease. Okay, what is the sale price? So go ahead, pause your video, work your way through this one. You can either use the formula of finding the new percentage and then taking that times the original. You can set it up as a proportion. Just remember, if you choose to do a proportion, it's going to be your sale price over your original. Okay, go ahead, pause your video and work your way through this one. When you worked through this, you should have gotten $40. Okay, so that's how much you're going to pay for that skateboard. Okay, so that's working with discounts when you get a certain percent off or a decrease in an amount. We're also going to work with markups. Okay, so when finding the sale price, you will pay the original 100% plus the percent that it was marked up. So it says a store pays $70 for a bicycle. So that's what the store pays. The percent of markup is 20%. So increase, whenever we see the word markup, it's like increase. Okay, they marked it up, it's going up. We're going to add 100%. So to get our new percentage. Okay, or you can figure out 20% of 70 and then add that back into the 70. I like to work off of the percentages. So I want to figure out, this is now 120%. So 120%, 1.2 of times $70. Or I could set it up as a proportion, okay, sale price over original. Okay, and this is where it's important you understand that it's going to be always be your sale price over original, because you are going to have a percentage that's going to be bigger on the top. So my sale percent was 120 over the original is always going to be 100%. And my original cost or cost to me was $70. Cross, multiply, divide. Either way, you should end up with the same answer. Okay, and when I do this, I just found out that I'm going to sell the bike for $84. Okay, so that I'm going to end up making $14 for my store when I sell that bike. Okay, so a markup is going to be where you're selling something for more than what you paid for it so that you can make a profit. Oops. Okay, so it says a store pays $25 for a sweatshirt. That should say a sweatshirt. The markup is 65%. So markup again, you get the markup increase. Okay, I like to work the percentage. You can increase, you can find the 65% of 25 and then add that answer back into 25. I like to work off of the percentage. So if I increase, I'm going to add 100% to this. To me, it's just easier calculating. So I want to figure out 165%, which is the same as 1.65 of times $25. Or I can set it up as a proportion. So my sale price, or how much I'm going to sell it for over my original. Okay, my sale price is 165%. Oops, and then I was going to put the percent sign in front. Over the original price is always 100%. And then $25 was originally what I paid for it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, cross multiply, divide. So 165 times $25, divide that by 100. And when I do that, I get $41.25. Okay, so that's what I'm going to sell the sweatshirt for, is $41.25. So I'm going to make a profit of $16.25 on each sweatshirt. And the way that I did that is I subtracted between those. Okay. All right. So I want you guys to try this next one. Okay. A store pays $75 for an aquarium. The markup is 20%. Markup. It's marked up. It's increased. 20%. What is the selling price? So go ahead, pause your video and work your way through this one. And then when you're finished, you can start the video back up and check your answer. You should have ended up with $90 off of either of these. Okay, and you have to decide what you're more comfortable with. Some of you might need that proportion to see it, and some of you might say, I don't need the proportion. I know to add the 100% and then change that to its decimal. You decide for you what you're more comfortable with. You can pick one of these scenarios to go through and solve. Okay, so the third type of scenario is where they're going to ask us to find an original price. So it says, what is the original price of the shoes? What percent did you pay? Could you use a comparison ratio? So this is where I would say proportions would be awesome. Not that that's the only way to solve them, but to me, proportional is going to be very visual and very easy to do. Yes, you can set it up similar to what we did on the other ones. It's just that we don't know what the original cost was. So you might have to use that $33 is 60% of what number format to be able to do it a different way. Proportions here is going to make it super easy to see. So it says, what was the original price of the shoes? Well, that's what we don't know. So remember when we set up proportions on our previous slides, we went through and I set up the sale price over the original. Okay. So here, my sale price, well, if I'm working my percentages, here I have 40% off. Percent off means I subtracted 40. So 100 minus 40 is going to say that I'm going to pay 60%. Over my original percent is 100. Okay. So then it does tell us that now they're $33. So that's how much I'm going to sell them for, or the sale price is $33. Cross multiply, divide. So 33 times 100 divided by, which would give me 3,300. And divide that by 60. And when I do that, I get $55. So originally these shoes were $55 shoes. When would you ever want to know this? Sometimes it's exciting to kind of let people know how much you ended up saving on on something that you originally, or that you bought on sale. So we're going to go ahead and practice that concept. Okay, the other method that you could have used here, like I said, the proportion is very visual and very easy to understand. You could have also said 60%, sorry, 33 is 60% of what number? And so then we would put our 33 equals 0.6 times W, and then divide by 0.6, divide by 0.6. It's still going to give you the same thing of $55. This is hard. It's hard to set it up that way. It's confusing. This visually, so easy to see. So easy to set it up. You just have to remember, you have to find what your percent was that you paid. And we've done that on every single step. Okay, every single one that we've done. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another one. Okay, so we have a pair of headphones. What is the original price of the headphones? What percent did you pay? So I'm putting that extra question in there, but this is a question that you're going to have to ask yourself. So it says we get 17% off. That's a decrease, right? So we're going to take 17% off of 100. So we're going to take 100 minus 17, which is going to give us 87%. So sale over original. So 17% off was what? 83%. My original is always 100%. And then I'm now paying, so the sale price was $124.50. So this is where it's different. Before they were giving us the original price. Now they're telling us the sale price. We want to figure out the original. And we should know that we should get a number that's bigger. Okay, so now we're going to take $124.50 times 100 and divide that by 83. And when we do that, I get $150. So these were originally $150 pair of headphones. We got them for $124.50, so we saved $25.50. Okay. Your other method that you could have used is you could have said $124.50 equals 83%, 0.83 of times what number? Okay, this is going to be hard. You're going to have to understand how to set that up for yourself. Proportions, very visual, very easy to see. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and have you guys try one on your own. Okay, so Under Armour sweatshirt says, what is the original price of the sweatshirt? If you got 28% off and you paid $50.70. Okay, I would recommend using a comparison ratio. Otherwise, you can set it up using the Word format, but you have to understand how to do that. So go ahead, pause your video, and work your way through this one. got $70.42. The other thing I could do to check myself is I could say, let's see, 72%, 70 is 0.72 of what number? And then if I take 70 divided by 0.72, it still gives me the 70.41667. So $70.42 when you round it to the nearest cent. Okay, so that's working with finding that original price. I highly, highly recommend the proportions, but if you're comfortable solving it another way, that's okay also. Okay, so your homework for this lesson, I want you to go ahead and work your way through page 100 out of your practice journal. So you're going to go ahead and use each of the 3 concepts that we just practiced in this lesson. Good luck. Remember, probably the easiest thing to do is work off of when it says percent off, that's a decrease, so subtracting from 100. When it says that it was a markup, adding the 100, you're increasing or upping that percentage, so adding the 100% in the beginning. Obviously, I told you already, that's not the only method, but that's the method that we're going to be working with. So good luck with this.